Like, there you go. Now I can.
All right. Do I sound funny? Happy Monday, everyone. Welcome to A Soccer Fan Walks Into a Bar. Do I sound weird?
Image on. Yeah.
Oh, image. Oh, man. I'm
Testing. This is a sound check, ladies and gentlemen. Psych.
there. We are.
What's up,
We're
everybody?
here
Good afternoon.
in good spirits.
Good morning. Good evening. Oh, I did it in the wrong order, but whatever. Hello, everybody.
Maybe you're traveling west really quickly.
It's 5 o'clock somewhere.
It is. In
Way
fact,
to
it's
save it there,
5:51 somewhere as well. It's right here at Newburgh Brewing Company. Let me lower this.
Time it's just gonna be 5
The
o'clock.
music,
in Mountain.
The vibes.
Yeah.
All right. Welcome. Happy Monday. We are almost into 30-degree weather.
It's good.
I'm going to get my bathing suit ready.
Are the negatives gone? Like
Does the
No, I feel like
10 this morning in my car.
early morning, I'm sure they'll still be there. But yeah, so welcome, guys. Welcome back. How was your weekend?
It was great.
It was good. I got to go see a cheerleading competition in Monroe Woodbury.
Yes.
That school is ridiculous.
Yes.
I did make a snide comment to the ladies running the front thing. It was pretty funny.
You? I don't believe it.
I walk up, and I pay my entry fee, which is $5 more than a normal entry fee.
Yeah.
So I'm like, all right, they're getting a little bit more money here at the expensive school.
Yes.
And I'm like, hey, normally they give out a paper schedule that tells when each team is going on.
Yeah.
So I asked them, I'm like, where's the schedule? The lady points at the table and says, here it is. I say, cool. I pick it up off the table and she goes, no, you need to take a picture of it. I'm like, oh, the school with all the money can't make paper copies of a schedule?
Oh my God, that is crazy though. Are you sure? Are you serious?
Yeah, that's what I said right there. She didn't answer me, but
Yeah, no, that is.
so I had to take a picture of it.
You know, maybe they were just being green.
No. No.
You
so
charge
yes,
$5 extra, sir.
You know,
Full support to my daughter's team. However, one
Yeah.
of the girls did fall flat on her face in the middle of a backflip.
Oh, is she
It was-
alright?
Yeah, I was recording it. You can, all you hear is the entire group go, the entire place go, ooh.
Yeah.
I mean, it happens. That is the sport. You know, that's cheerleading for you. That's why I actually recognize it as a sport. People don't believe in it, but to be honest, things could happen to you.
No. So,
There's a lot
and
of
that,
athleticism. There is a risk to it.
I am on the other side of that. I
believe in
think the competitions and stuff absolutely, you know, as an event is a sport. I don't understand the desire to train to cheer on another team. I like, you know what I mean? Like
No.
old school cheerleading where it's just like rah rah for the basketball team or the football team. That's what I.
Well, you got to understand each. So, yes, there is in professional sports right now. Every single team has their own cheerleading thing. However, you have to think to every school only has one cheerleading team. So the basketball team is cheered on by the cheerleading team.
Exactly.
The football team is cheered on. It's not like nowadays where, like, again, the Cowboys have their own, the Jaguars have their own.
I don't know.
It's all sports in the school is cheered by one cheerleading team.
I respect the athletic ability of the people partaking in it. It's not for me, and
Like
that's.
cheering? No, exactly. You were a player. That's the thing.
But I
You
just-
were on the
yeah,
other
I,
side
like-
forever. It's about,
don't know.
about school spirit. In the youth level,
Yeah.
it's all about school spirit. You know, you are the social network for these guys. You keep them relevant. You know, a good cheer team can be even more important than, you know.
Spirit week.
Yeah, like, they're involved in so many things.
morale.
Yeah.
You know, even when the team's down, you try to keep, you know,
Exactly.
try to lift the spirits of the fans.
And the best part is,
But who is here to lift up Nas's spirits when Arsenal is still up by 6 points and he, you know, is convinced they're going to lose?
nobody.
That maybe that's the
I
problem.
told you. I
That's
will
me.
believe.
I'm the one.
I will believe if 13 games from now Arsenal are still on top. That's it.
I am the one.
13. It's gonna take
I'm the
13.
I like it.
It's gonna take
I'm the
13 games.
cheerleader.
I like your
I
spirit.
told Perry yesterday. I said I had a small inkling of excitement when I saw that goal go in for Liverpool. I had a small inkling of excitement, and Karma immediately came back and shut it down. I said,
Shut
no,
it down.
you have no reason to be excited. City scored twice.
Oh, karma.
That's what you get.
Yeah.
And I told Perry, I was like, never again.
That was, and
again.
obviously we'll talk about that later in the show. But that was one of the oddest finishes to a match I think I've ever seen. But let's let's start chronologically.
I'm surprised Slot even has a freaking show.
We'll jump right into the Premier League. Match day 25 is complete. We kicked off Friday with a real 6-pointer.
Yeah.
Leeds United hosting Nottingham Forest, and Leeds went up early, went up often. 3-1 final. But Forest did get a late goal from the one and only Lorenzo Luca, who we actually talked about last week.
Yep. And there it is.
Pizza Crouch scored his first goal for Forest. But it was a comprehensive 3-1 victory for Forest, and Leeds now starting to kind of stretch their wings a little bit and get out of the immediate threat of relegation. Obviously, a couple more results don't go their way. They could be right back into it. But Forest now really have something to worry about.
Oh, yeah.
Like I said, we talked about it Saturday morning. That, in addition to the West Ham Burnley match, could potentially really light a fire under Forest. So you know what? We'll jump around a little bit. Let's go right to Burnley West Ham. Burnley was the home team here. West Ham with goals from Crescencio Somerville in the 13th minute and NYCFC alum Tati Castellanos in the 26th minute. Give West Ham all 3 points.
Yes.
And they are now only 3 points back of Forest for that last safe spot in the league.
Oh, yeah.
Obviously, just like you said with Arsenal, there are still 13 matches remaining, so plenty of time to pick up points and drop points.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
They're only 6 points back of Tottenham.
I know. And they're only 20 points back of Chelsea in fifth place.
Exactly.
Which, in all honesty,
Mathematically, it's still possible.
that is the most ridiculous thing I like. The fact that 18th place is, again, it's not going to happen, but that they're still that close to a potential Champions League spot. It's wild.
7 wins away.
Is the reality.
Yeah.
Is the reality of this league that we play. There's 6 teams in the top, and the worst 2 of those can, be a surprise.
Yeah.
That's where the surprise happens.
Well, and Naz, you mentioned Tottenham. They traveled to Manchester on the weekend. Michael Carrick, the interim manager, as far as I know, he has not been given the permanent role yet.
This is one of those matches where you wish both sides would have just lost.
But United did get a 2-0 victory. Goals from Mbeumo and Bruno Fernandes.
Yeah, so
and
red card from Christian Romero.
The whole Christian Romero saga over the last week and a half, 2 weeks, is nothing short of incredible. One day they'll make movies out of this.
and now he's set to miss the North London Derby. Is what they're saying.
You mean he gets to miss the North London Derby?
Yes, he gets to miss the North London Derby.
Wait, that's not? Oh no, was it because it was a straight red? It was a 3-match ban. All right. Yeah, I don't know where Tottenham goes from here. I was talking with a couple Brighton fans. Was that yesterday that they played? I can't even keep track anymore. Yeah, they played yesterday. About Thomas Frank and excuse me. Had a long day of podcasting and interviewing. Talking about Thomas Frank and does he keep his job through the summer, or does he even make it to the end of the year?
The North London Derby might determine that.
Definitely.
But again, they're in the Champions League. Like, do you get rid of your?
Not only are they in the Champions League, but they're doing quite
well
well in Champions League. I was thinking about this earlier.
The pundits say everybody else is just doing shit.
Yeah.
Well, those are these guys' results. Like we talk about it, like they are dominating.
Is Tottenham really
Europe.
that good in the Champions League, or is just every other team around?
So do we validate those results by saying okay, they are still doing good in the European Cups where they just dominate?
Yep.
Or we accept the reality that they're just not competing where they need to compete.
Yeah.
To be honest. That's the real competition. Once you fall in your league, you're not coming back to Europe the next year, whether you win it or not.
Yeah,
are you going to take it like as a consolation?
It's so bizarre to me how
What's up, buddy?
Danny. That doesn't look like you in that emote. It's just so bizarre to me to see how Jekyll and Hyde Spurs are.
Yeah.
I'm enjoying it.
They play. I'm sure you are. They played absolutely terribly in the first half against City.
Oh yeah.
Then they turned it around in the second half and came back with 2 goals from Solanke and drew with City.
Yeah.
And now, this against United, which I like,
Yeah,
and this is
right
part of the problem. Like, we don't know, because of results like this, we don't know what United is right now. Is it the new manager bounce under Carrick?
No,
Are they
no,
actually here to stay? Are
Honestly,
they good?
Again, this is what it is. They still have to show up and get the result. They have
You're
to
right.
execute. So a team as a team, United 6 months ago or 4 months ago would have lost or tied that match somehow.
Yeah.
They would have found a way to
Maybe
fuck
that's
it
our
all
next
up.
bet. Maybe that's our next prediction. The United West Ham game, because that guy needs a haircut.
Yes, I
Yes.
actually.
United
yes,
Strand
yes.
is one
And
match
I'm in.
away.
I'm in for it. No, but yeah, Manchester United are showing up, and that is the difference between them
So
and
much so
now.
that you wagered 40 points on it.
You were gonna give it to
I
me,
know,
and I'm
I
gonna
know.
take him gladly, baby. But it seems like I am Manchester. I'm a Manchester
you know what?
United, train. But because they're showing me that
Yeah,
they
who do
can.
they have
Like,
coming up
right
the
now,
next
they
few
show me
weeks?
they
West
can,
Ham.
to be honest.
No,
with
I
you.
just mean like after
in
that.
general, yeah, no.
Oh, I think they still have a game against Liverpool and a game against Newcastle, right?
So their next 3
Let's
are
check it out.
West Ham, Everton, Palace.
Yep, they still have
And it's not
Newcastle,
that bad.
Villa,
And then
a Liverpool
Newcastle,
game,
Villa,
Chelsea.
Bournemouth, Leeds have been hot. That's a,
Chelsea and Liverpool.
yeah. And Brentford is in what, 6th, 7th place, something like that.
Nah, you don't give them credit. We have them next.
Yeah.
Or it's not to play them away next.
No.
And then they do finish with Forest and Brighton. Brighton I think is safe, but they're at the bottom
Exactly.
half.
And that's the thing. The games like-
Forest might need those points.
And a lot of the next 3 games that you said,
Yeah.
let's say that we focus on the next 3 games. They're supposed to be winnable matches. The United from a couple months ago would have lost a couple of those.
Yeah.
These guys, I believe that they're just going to execute and do the thing. You're supposed to win it, they're going to win it. And that is the difference between, that and this.
Yeah.
And change your coach, new philosophy, whatever that is. I am actually
We are
very
very bright.
excited.
We're very
about
bright,
it.
right? I'm
Very
gonna adjust that a little bit. You guys keep going.
Yeah. All right. Well, yes. I mean, I don't know what you think. And Tottenham, on the other hand, they are getting really,
little
really close to relegation. A little more. A little more.
more.
You're good.
Yeah.
You should be good now.
Never had that before.
Yeah.
But yeah, Tottenham as well. I mean, like you said, they're being very erratic, and right now they're only 3 points, a couple, even less from their closest, competitor to get out of that relegation. So-
Tottenham are only 6 points up
6
from the
points
drop.
up.
Yeah.
West Ham is at 23
Yeah.
out of the 29.
And
I will say
and you
what
just
Tottenham
got, what,
have
6?
going for them, just based on doing well earlier in the year, their goal differential is at 0 right now. Most of the other teams down that way are, the next best is -9.
Okay.
So,
Brighton's at 1. Right above.
yeah, Brighton's also 2 points ahead of them. You know what I mean? Like,
But that's,
so
and that's the thing. I mean, it doesn't matter. You're dropping points very rapidly, and the teams below you are winning. To be honest with you,
7
it's not
wins.
necessarily.
They have 7 wins this year. That's the thing that they need to look at.
Yeah. So I don't know. I don't see much hope for Tottenham, and I do. Again, I'm still a Manchester United train right now. So whatever comes.
Red Black, what is going on?
Hey.
Legends.
Red Black, that was an incredible match on Saturday for you
was.
guys. I think I said it in the Discord. Can they just win a game normal? Like
They're the Bournemouth of Germany.
Ah,
Excitement,
gosh.
baby. You got to do cinema. That's the new era.
Yeah.
All right. Elsewhere in the league, Fulham hosting Everton. This was a match we talked about. It was I think they were 7th and 8th place at that point. Everton goes to Fulham, grabs a 2-1 victory, an own goal for each side, one from Vitaly Mykolenko, and then the eventual match winner, an own goal from goalkeeper Bernd Leno in the 83rd minute, was the difference. So Everton under Moyes, inching closer to Europe. Again, this was a team the last few years. They faced a points deduction. They, were very close to relegation each of the last 2 seasons. They had some issues financially with some moving parts on their new stadium that were not coming into effect. That's all. Red Black says that's all in Kovac's plan. Yeah, what's the temperature on Niko Kovac right now? I mean, I don't know who they're bringing in that would be any better than him, but like they're just so mercurial, and I can't, and he like. That was a match that they, in my opinion, should have easily won, and they left it late. I think it was a Guirassy goal in maybe the 82nd, 85th minute, something like that. And they're so unpredictable, and that's not how you fight for a Bundesliga title. I will say that.
Especially because the top team is being nothing but steady.
Yeah. Well, no, that's the thing. They haven't. They won on the weekend, but they dropped points each of the last 2 matches prior. It is setting up for a great Der Klassiker at the end of the month. So we do have that.
I mean, those 2 defeats, and it was a tie.
It was a loss and a tie, yeah.
You chalk them up as, exhaustion or whatever, but that was no sign of anything.
Yeah,
I know people try to blow it up a little bit, but right now I do follow Bayern Munich.
Well, because of Lucho, yeah.
So, yeah, there is nothing to worry about with them.
Also in London, Arsenal was hosting Sunderland. 3-0 goals from Zubamendi and a pair of goals from Victor Gyökeres.
Yes.
All seems back to well and good for Gyökeres. He's up now to what, 8-9 goals, I think. I'm talking just in the league.
I think it's 8 goals in the league.
Okay.
But he's got 4 goals in his last.
Yeah. He really seems to be getting hot of late.
And that is a show of just adjustment. I mean, he's been doing a good job. I keep saying it. I mean, yes, the goals is what's supposed to be what he's known for, but that is.
I mean, look
that
at the
is
goal
a different type of situation. No.
Look at the first goal he scored, though.
Yeah, no.
Yeah.
Exactly. Like he's getting comfortable. He's finally.
So is this more adjustment from him, or is it adjustment from Arteta and the rest of the squad?
I think
it's an adjustment in general. It's a general adaptation that they finally started to find out. Because that's the thing. Luis Suarez right now, the Colombian, is going through the same thing that Gyökeres went and Sporting, scoring goals like crazy, and everybody celebrated him. He goes to Europe, he scores goals in Europe, he's defining matches. They're starting to compare it to him. And the way I see it and the reality of it is the team itself, Sporting, is a really, really good team for number 9s, per se. For that specific position and type of player, they know the coaching, the whole team knows how to take advantage and play around it. So that's why they go and score all these goals everywhere they go. They compete with the big teams because Sporting is not a small team, so that's kind of like the reality of it is. Gyökeres comes into Arsenal, has to adapt. It spends, 6-7 months. Slow at the beginning, he scores 1 goal here, a penalty there, da-da-da-da. People kind of like just blows it out of proportion in a situation where you're coming from a completely different style of play. You're getting to the best league in the world right now. Let's face it, that is the competitiveness of the situation. The defenders that you're facing in England are not the same defenders that you're getting, put up against in Portugal, Spain, anywhere else.
And not to mention, you're facing a low block in every single game you're playing outside of the Champions League.
Exactly.
Don't you think that he was facing that again, albeit with lesser players? But you don't think teams were sitting back against Porto and against Lisbon and against Benfica?
If you go back and look at some of the goals he scored for Porto, they were very open.
Yeah.
Sporting is a machine to take advantage of that position.
Yeah.
He was
no matter what they put
I mean, for the record,
no matter what they put on him,
I was high on him, before and during the move. Obviously, I think for all parties, we wish it was a much cleaner, quicker deal over the summer. But it was. I was surprised at how poorly Arteta and the rest of the squad kind of adjusted to him.
You want to know what I chalk it up to?
it takes time, bro.
You want to know what I chalk it up to? Both forwards are back. Jesus is back.
Yeah.
Havertz is back.
Yep.
It's not him versus Marino for who's playing up front. Right? He has his competition. He now is not. He's not used every single match for 60 minutes. Right? He came off the bench in this one.
Yep. 100%.
Again,
and
look what happens. I think finally now he's getting some rest. He's not being overworked, and he has competition. Not to mention Havertz being back is feeding him some of these.
Yeah.
So I honestly think that Havertz being back is probably the best thing
that could
happened
happen
to
to
the
him.
No, it's a good shout. It's a good shout.
Extremely, and again,
Yep.
to finalize my rant, I am happy for him, and I definitely see that the goals are coming, and the situational awareness is already there.
Yeah.
So, nothing but good things about him, and again, that's why I'm saying Arsenal is going to be okay.
And
Arteta did say he was very upset that they didn't score from a set piece in this game.
I was going to say, maybe
I wouldn't
most
be too.
importantly,
I would have been too.
all 3 goals were scored in the run of play, and all from Arsenal players. No own goals, no set pieces.
Oh my God! Did you guys see, or who posted it?
Oh, in the Discord?
In the Discord,
I
all
did.
goals.
Yeah.
are
All
winning.
goals are winning the league boot right
The
now,
boot.
like 28 goals.
Are we gonna give it to him?
All right, jumping around a little bit more, another London team. Chelsea traveled to Wolves. A first half hat trick, including 2 penalties from Cole Palmer. Done and dusted. A late goal from Wolves in the second half.
Yeah.
I'll wear the kit. I'll wear the kit
Come on,
again.
bro.
Maybe it'll
on,
spark
man.
them a
Give it
little
up,
bit. Bournemouth hosting Villa, second place Villa. I know a lot of Arsenal fans were rooting for the Cherries this match.
They got
Third
it
place
though.
Villa.
Huh?
Third place Villa. You said second place Villa.
Oh, did I? I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Villa were. Bournemouth were the better team in this match throughout. They had much better chances. I think that was so. Morgan Rogers scored in the 22nd minute. I believe that was their first shot. Bournemouth hit a post. They had a couple other really good chances. I think their expected goals was 3. Dibu Martinez, again, out of his
Sometimes
mind.
you gotta tip your hat, man.
Yeah.
What else are you gonna do about that?
I think that's just the story of Bournemouth this year.
Yeah.
They get
Yeah.
the chances, they play good, they just
Yeah.
they can't.
But you know
sneak
what?
it out of them.
Again,
They don't finish.
it's one thing to play well. It's another thing, and this is a positive. A lot of times in the past they would play well and drop all 3 points.
3 points.
This one with Ryan, the young Brazilian attacker, I believe he's 19
signing.
from.
New signing.
Yep, from where did he come from? Vasco da Gama, I want to say.
No, yeah, Vasco da Gama.
Had a first, and this wasn't the only dangerous attack he had, but
No.
a solo run beating 2 or 3 Villa players, scoring on the near post. They had many more chances late in the game as well, but for Bournemouth's sake, the unbeaten streak continues.
Yeah.
They keep gathering points. They are now tied with Fulham in 10th. Obviously, Fulham have a better goal differential, so Bournemouth are in 11th. But again, they're only 5 points off of Liverpool.
Somewhere, yeah. So
5 points off Conference League, 10 points off of Champions League.
yeah, and you know what? We like to talk about the whole tying and dropping points, but for Bournemouth, that's a positive. And right now, that's where they're at.
Right.
They're transitioning. They are selling every good player they have. I imagine they're in the same boat as every middle of the table
Yeah.
team, trying to make money for next year so they can invest more money into the
Well,
team.
so they
you're in the
brought in
grind,
obviously
so-
Ryan, Alex Jimenez, their outside back, who was a loanee from Milan.
Okay.
Because of the amount that he's played, that it was a loan with an option to buy, that has now become an obligation to buy for, I want to say, 25 million euros, somewhere in that range. And I just saw someone in one of the Bournemouth groups post that since Bill Foley has come in, they have spent, this is obviously not a net spend, this is just purchases, about 430 million euros.
But it's also what
So-
they got back from.
So,
Yeah,
right.
yeah,
So,
no,
so
it's
the
okay.
Their net spend is probably around
point
0.
exactly, and but that's the point that they're making is yes, we're selling players, but every penny
money's
that we're
coming
earning
back into
is
it.
going right back into the
And
club.
that's the thing. And,
You
and that's
know-
the struggle. So getting a tie, staying in the middle, staying 10th, beating expectations from AIs and pundits to say that they're
Yeah.
going to be 13 or below.
Well, that's
You know,
I don't
that's the goal.
honestly I don't
That's
recall.
the
We can
goal.
listen back. But I believe I predicted 12th or 13th place
Yeah.
when the season started.
So, so you stay 10th, man. That's just, you repeat at 10th place,
Not a-
middle of the table, 2 years in a row.
and you know what?
I don't want to sound
not for
mediocre,
anything,
though,
but
but that's the grind.
no, of
That's
course,
what you need
and
to do.
you know if we're in April and maybe early May and mathematically they're still in the fight for Europe, to me it doesn't matter where they ultimately finish, but to to have those crunch time matches under their belt for the players that stay next year and the year after, and this coaching staff and the fan base and all that, like that is, again, I know in sports there are no moral victories. I understand that.
Yeah,
but
you guys are making
but
it now,
but
yeah.
for Bournemouth to put themselves in that position
nice.
where mathematically they can do something about it is, at least for now, a good next step. You know, the step after that is, okay, we need to put ourselves in a position where in April we're guaranteed of Europe already.
No, you know what? My thought more than making it farther is get to a point where you can keep the players that succeed in your team.
Yeah, I mean, in my eyes, the only way you keep the players is
Being able to
consistently.
afford them.
Well, no,
You
is
build up and
consistently
you're
playing in
gonna-
Europe. It doesn't matter if you can afford them, because everyone in the Premier League, it's the richest league in the world. Everyone can afford them.
Yeah.
Do you have Champions League to the carrot of Champions League to dangle in front of these guys?
True. Okay.
And even then, you lose players. You know, I've talked about it countless times.
Yeah, no, you're
Unless
right.
you
You're
are
right.
one of Arsenal, Liverpool, City, Barca, Real Madrid, PSG, everyone else is a selling club. I mean, let's face it. And even to some extent, if for different reasons, if it's not a good fit, Arsenal will sell a player off, or Madrid, or Bar.
Well,
You know,
it's funny you say that because I've actually read a couple articles that have just came out where Arsenal have actually talked about reanalyzing when they sell players, because there's been a lot of times where they'll sell a player for probably less than what they paid, or
Yeah.
a lot less than what that person should have been sold for.
Yeah.
And then that person goes on and they win and they place
And
it's
they
like,
value it more.
Yeah, and it's like, okay, we should have valued that player more. So
Exactly.
Arsenal announced that starting this next offseason, they're going to start valuing players more than they have been in the
yeah. Well, and that's, you know, sometimes that is like release clauses are not necessarily reflective of a true player's value.
Yeah.
You have someone like Lamine Yamal, who I think his release clause is like 800 million pounds.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's an incredible player. He's got all the assets. He's superbly marketable. Is he worth 800 million? No. You know, was Neymar worth the 200 whatever that his release clause when PSG hit it?
Yeah,
You know,
I mean-
and then on the flip side, you look at a guy like Antoine Semenyo with the deal to Man City, but last summer he was out of contract, and the only way he was re-signing with Bournemouth was, in his eyes, with, you know, the next step on the horizon was, okay, I'll sign with you, but the release clause has to be 60 million. It's not, we're not doing a $100 million release clause, because
You gotta be
now
reasonable
that,
about it.
from a player's perspective, devalues him from other clubs wanting to buy. So
Yes.
I understand what you're saying, but first of all, selling a player for less than you bought him for doesn't mean that you've done bad business either. You know, the guy is now 1, 2, 3 years older, whatever it is. You know, like PSG does not care if they lose money on the back end for a
again,
player.
You got to understand that Arsenal, the average age of Arsenal literally 3 years ago was 23.
Yeah.
So you got to understand that a lot of their players that they got rid of were 22, 23, 24, and have gone on
And there are two
to
different
play
things.
well for the team.
And coming into your peak and coming out of your peak are, you know,
Yeah,
two,
and also-
economically speaking, are two completely different situations. At 22, you're barely reaching your potential physically and
Yeah.
mentally and
And
everything.
there's
So
also the
that's
point
the
of,
projection that you have to think
you know,
about. So-
sometimes a player is just a better fit in another club's system.
Yeah.
Like, you know,
Yeah,
so
no, that's cool.
I, you know, if
I don't know. I've always, I mean, a lot of Arsenal fans have always felt that when they sold a player, they've gotten, like, I'm not, you know, with lack of a better word, the shit end of the stick.
yeah, no,
Because it goes back, you know, when you even think about it, like, you know, even back when Van Persie was sold to
Yep.
United, like all those kind of things. It's just one of
Yeah.
those things that you look back on and you're like, okay, we could have made a lot
Yeah.
more.
And from a
Yeah.
from a fanatical perspective, I absolutely get it. But if there's one thing I've learned from the last 2 years of doing this show with you guys and speaking with clubs and speaking with, you know, fans of other clubs and having that more, you know, 10,000-foot view
Yeah.
is, you know, again, like it's starting to look like it's going good. But if the Gyökeres experiment wound up not working out and they sold him elsewhere and he found a system that played with a true number 9,
Yeah.
and he did better. Could you blame Arsenal maybe for?
Look at Pepe.
There you go. Exactly.
He came in for 70 million, did nothing, left, and has still done nothing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, sometimes it's just not the right fit. Whether it's geography, whether it's something going on in this player's life, whether it's the system, whether it's, there's so many things that can go into it. But I think what happens is PSR now makes us so systemic of like, okay, if we bought him for 25, he's got to be worth at least 30 by the time, like.
The other thing, Arsenal also has a really good academy.
Yeah.
There has been so many times where a player looks great in the academy, and then they like go off to get playing time elsewhere,
right.
and it's like, okay, there goes another player that we can.
But look, and again, I know
that's my thing. My thing is that in the valuation that I will see as a business is that not players that you buy and sell again, because, like you said, Arsenal is not a selling team. They can afford to buy things outrageously expensive.
No,
It's the thing that they're creating. Like you said, they got a good base.
Yeah.
So all these young players, valuate them highly. Get them out there. If worse comes to worse, you know what I mean? You get double what you think that they can be worth. Let's say, they go do great. They get sold. That
I mean, I don't know if Red Black is still in chat, but look at Dortmund. Look at the players that have come through.
Yeah.
Including Erling Haaland, Aubameyang,
and don't you think they overvalue their
Christian
players?
Pulisic. The list goes on and on. Lewandowski.
Exactly. And don't you think they overvalue their players before they put them out there?
No, I think Dortmund.
I think Dortmund's gotten good money for their players.
Yeah, I think Dortmund have an incredible understanding of the market. I think
that's what Arsenal is trying to do now.
Well, think about this too. Let's put it to the last 3 seasons. In the last 3 seasons, Arsenal, other than Gyökeres, Arsenal has not had that front page signing.
Groundbreaking
front page signing. It's been like, it's always been City or Chelsea or United, and all. Like again, in this offseason, it was Mbeumo, Cunha, and Sesko to United, right? Liverpool
Wirtz,
was
Isak,
and Wirtz to Liverpool. Arsenal was like, oh, here's here's Zubamendi for 20 whatever. Here's California was last season. Mourinho was a few seasons ago, but it was like Gyökeres was the big one because again they needed a striker, so obviously all eyes were on that. But in the last several seasons, there was other than Rice. I would say Rice was the big one.
Declan Rice. I forgot about
as you
him.
have seen, Declan Rice has shown he's worth the 100 million.
Yeah, and I'll be honest, I was not a big Declan Rice guy. I mean, I'm still not his hugest fan. Hugest is not a word. Biggest fan. But he does, at least for Arsenal, seem to be worth what they spent on him. There is definitely that to be said. He does a little bit of everything. He does it well. He hits some great free kicks. He seems to be kind of molding himself into maybe an eventual captain for Arsenal.
I don't want to say Arsenal's been like a farm team, but it's Arsenal, since I have been following them, has always been the team that has focused more on developing players than buying players. And that's the thing, is because we've always developed the player. The player turns out great. They play well. They get like 3 or 4 seasons where they get the support from the team, and then they go off to do something else. And it's like, oh, okay. Like Oxlade-Chamberlain went to Liverpool. You had Manchester United was the one that I could say that went opposite, like complete opposite. I think that was the one where people were like, he even said 9 days into the training, like, why did I do this? But most of the time it was players that went from Arsenal to other places, and it's like.
But that is a reality. And again, that's why I'm talking about overvaluating the situation, not the players that come in and out from your own purchases, because that's. I'm sorry to say it, that's a first world problem to have type deal. You know,
develop the player and then somebody else breaks the rules. We develop.
Well, they leave because they don't get playing time. You got these other veterans that you paid $100 million for. You can't have the potential guy coming out of your farming teams. So you have to let him go. It works out somewhere else. So maybe what I would be happy with is let them go, establish a clause that says if they go and do really well in the first 2 years, I'll charge you this much money.
No.
I structure it better, learn how to
Yeah.
take advantage monetarily, but there is nothing Arsenal can do about letting
Yeah,
good
I mean,
players go because they make good players.
and at the end of the
That's
day,
point to be
the
kind of
players are
proud
going to
about.
want to do. The players are
Yeah.
going to do what they want to do, and I've said it time and time again. I am all for the players having the power to choose
Yeah.
when and where they go.
So give
So,
them the freedom, but get your money.
Yeah.
That's my thing at the end of the day. You can't stop them. Try to collect.
yeah. All right. Newcastle United hosting Brentford. And Newcastle have very mixed results. They were on a 3-match winless streak. And then at home, Newcastle 2, Brentford 3. This had a lot of action late. The eventual match winner from Bournemouth alum Dango. And Newcastle have now lost 3 straight, winless in 4, and they are in 12th place in the bottom half of the table. A negative goal differential in the league. For, obviously they sold Isak, they've brought in some reinforcements, but it just does not seem to be going too well right now for Eddie Howe. And as a Bournemouth supporter, Eddie Howe, for a lot of Cherries fans, walks on water. Yeah. But you have to wonder, with the money that is in Newcastle and the ownership group, how long of a leash do they give Eddie Howe now to continue? Yes, they won a cup last year. Was that last year or the year before? Now I can't remember. The year before.
Yeah, they didn't win anything last year.
Who won the League Cup?
I think United won the League Cup, didn't they?
No. EFL Cup winner. Yeah, that was. No, that's. Where am I? EFL Cup final. Yeah, Newcastle won. They beat Liverpool with a goal from Alexander Isak. But yeah, so they did win an EFL Cup, but is that enough for an ownership group with aspirations of winning European titles? And is a season in 10th to 12th place going to pass the test for Eddie Howe?
Yep.
It will. I mean,
I'm not so sure.
The thing with the ownership is that they have to think of the fans. Like you said, for the fans, he can do no.
No, I'm not fans from Newcastle. I'm talking about Bournemouth fans.
Oh, so never mind.
Yeah, I time will tell what happens with Eddie Howe, and there are several clubs on the bottom half of the table or coming up from the championship that might be looking, because he is a highly regarded manager. It's just does not seem to be consistently working with Newcastle.
Well, since the Isak situation, it just doesn't seem that the team could was able to get back into any kind of cohesiveness.
Well, speaking of teams that are falling apart, due to selling players, Brighton was hosting one of them, Crystal Palace. Palace was winless in their last 12. And they came to Brighton in the M23 Derby
That's what happens
with
to
a
poor Brighton,
61st minute from Ismail Yassar, and Crystal Palace with the smash and grab, getting all 3 points from Brighton. And speaking of managers that are maybe starting to be under a hot seat, Fabian Hertzler at Brighton, it's not looking great. I watched this game upstairs with our Seagulls on Hudson supporters. It was they looked lifeless. You're in a rivalry match, you're in a somewhat local derby.
Yeah.
You're playing a team again that it was winless in 12, that seems nothing was going right, and Brighton had essentially zero fight in that match. They had, I think, one chance that looked even remotely dangerous.
No way.
And it was just, they were just kind of there. Hertzler's comments after the match were what you would expect. He shouldered some of the blame.
Yeah.
But I don't know what happens from here on out with them. They do have I think they play Liverpool this weekend in the FA Cup. They have Aston Villa on Wednesday in the league. So that's 2 tough matches. And maybe that was part of the issue. Maybe they're looking forward, instead of the match right next to them. But we'll see what happens with that.
Brighton couldn't afford to look farther than the
Well,
next
I know they
minute
can't
on the
afford to,
field.
but maybe they did. Is what I'm.
Oh no, that Brian is just not playing. I don't know. Comprehensible football is what you
Yeah.
say when
Yeah.
they win good. Yeah, they're not playing any of that at all right now. Even my guy Mutama that I love so
I
much.
still think Matoma
But-
is something. The injury was more serious than anyone has let on.
even he's not
He still
there,
does not
so-
seem himself. But
So I love my guys, like you said, Mike and everybody, but it's gonna be a rough year. And
Yeah.
I mean, they're not relegation.
they are 8 points
There.
above the drop right now,
Yeah,
with 13 to
I
play.
mean, the way things are happening with these last couple of teams falling so quickly, it's that we don't know. But hopefully they don't get relegated, and they just try to figure it out for next year. Coach started, and nobody's safe.
Yeah,
Honestly, nobody's safe.
for sure. All right,
next year.
on to the big match of the weekend. Liverpool hosting Man City. I watched it. The first half was a snore fest. Finally, some life late in the match. One of the better goals that I've seen this year, maybe in the last few years. Dominic Szoboszlai, a knuckling outside of the foot free kick. Although I will say, and I'm a huge fan of him, but I do think Donnarumma could have done much better with setting that wall. It was maybe 25 yards out, and he only had two guys in the wall. That being said, the power and placement on that strike was absolutely incredible. 10 minutes later, Bernardo Silva, the City captain for the match, did level things, and then seemingly all hell broke loose. I'm forgetting his name now. Alisson, the Liverpool goalkeeper, took down the Man City player in the box. It was judged to have been a foul and a penalty. 93rd minute, Erling Haaland does bury that shot. And then it got even crazier from there. There was a penalty shout on I believe it was off a corner or a free kick, I don't recall now, from Liverpool. And then immediately after, this was with Alisson up in the attack.
Yes.
A ball played in from about
Counter-attack
half
from Haaland.
field from Ryan Cherky. It looked like it was not going to have enough gas to make it to the goal line. So Erling Haaland and Dominic Szoboszlai both trying to chase the ball down. Szoboszlai gave a tug of the kit. Erling Haaland then got beyond him. Then Szoboszlai got in front of him, and Haaland took Szoboszlai out. Eventually, with neither of them touching the ball, Cherky scores.
Yep.
But then comes VAR. So the initial call on the field was a goal. The initial VAR was
A foul.
was a foul on Erling Haaland.
Yeah.
So in that case, the goal would have come off the board. But when you're reviewing that, you then have to go, through the whole play. And before that foul on conceded by Erling Haaland was
He got
the jersey
fouled.
tug by Szoboszlai, which was judged to have been a denial of a clear goal-scoring opportunity.
Yeah, it was a mess.
And the resulting call was a foul on Szoboszlai and a red card, which I listened to a ton of pundits last night and this morning about it. By the letter of the law, it was absolutely 100%
correct.
the right call.
Yeah.
In the spirit of the game,
Let that go.
let it go. Let it just be Cherky's goal, and
In the game.
it is what it is.
End the game.
But again, I agree with the call. I thought I was surprised none of the calls were made on the field, and it did go to VAR. But I think all in it was.
Well, no, I mean, technically, the call was made on the field. They called it a goal.
Yeah. I mean, I'm surprised none of
They
the
should have
fouls
stand.
were called. Yes.
Yeah, they should have stayed. That's it.
So I'm fine with.
But that
Danny
is,
says that credible save by Donnarumma.
Oh yeah, off that it was a deflected shot. Who took that shot? Danny, I believe it was Alexis McAllister. I think right. Took a shot off it was a half volley, probably just outside the box, and it deflected off a Man City player's back.
Oh.
And Donnarumma adjusted, dove, and actually the ball was like behind him, and he was able to push it over the bar. Again, it helps that Donnarumma is just an absolutely massive human being.
Yes.
You know,
you
with
know what the crazy thing is? That is the reality of Liverpool and Manchester City right now. That's how their games go.
Oh,
every
always.
time.
Always.
The reality of that Liverpool somehow is finding the weirdest, craziest
Yeah.
way to screw themselves over every single match. And we've seen it from the beginning of the year. And, you know, you guys talked about it the first 5, 6, 7 match of the undefeated all-win
Yeah.
streak. The luck these mothers have, man, sometimes.
Yeah, and this fixture, the last 10 years it seems,
I don't know,
always
man.
comes down to, you know, a
Some
single
weird
second
ass
or,
play.
you know, a single millimeter. You know, I still remember that John Stones clearance, you know, on the goal line.
Yeah.
Well, they said this is the first time City's done a double over Liverpool since
A
1937
long
or
time,
something.
yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow. All right, so
It's crazy.
that does it there for the actual matches. As it stands, after 25 matches played, Arsenal are in the lead of the league here, 56 points. Man City second on 50, and Villa after another draw there. So Villa only have one win in their last 5. You have to wonder if maybe they're running out of gas playing in Europe as well. But they are on 47, 3 points behind Man
that
City,
green,
and
man.
9
Yeah,
points
right.
back now of Arsenal. Rounding out the top 4 and guaranteed Champions League places is Manchester United. We do
I'm gonna
think
cut my hair with that guy.
There you
Man
go.
City wins one more.
The-
no, I can't. My kid will kick my ass.
it does look like, based on Europe, the Premier League will have 5 Champions League spots. So if that is the case, next up is Chelsea on 43, Liverpool and Brentford both on 39, Everton in 8th on 37, Sunderland on 36. Rounding out the top half is Fulham in 10th on 34, as is Bournemouth in 11th. Newcastle on 33, Palace in 13th on 32, Brighton 31. 15th place goes to Tottenham Hotspur on 29. Also on 29 is the somewhat hot Leeds United now. 17th place, Nottingham Forest, starting to get into a little bit of trouble. West Ham in 18th, although they've won 3 out of their last 4 matches, and again, it looks like they continue to do so. I've been saying for weeks now that I do think West Ham got back up at Forest's expense, and in the bottom 2, Burnley in
They got
19th.
United next.
Yeah.
Is that
For
guy getting
you know
a
what
haircut or
for
what?
for
Or is West Ham popping themselves out, or is Man United guy getting a haircut?
yeah.
Yeah.
19th place is Burnley on 15, so they are 8 points out of 18th, and they are 11 points away from the drop. And dead last, 1 win, 8 points is Wolves. So tough run for Burnley and Wolves there. I
I'll
think
give you 3 matches until you can wear the jersey.
that's okay.
3 matches. You wear the jersey in 3 matches.
All right, perfect.
Arsenal plays.
Oh yeah, that's,
Our game got moved up a bit.
all right.
A bit,
That's a deal.
Done deal.
On that note, we're gonna take a quick break. We'll be right back with 100 miles to home, guys. See you soon.
Boom, boom. Hey.
All right, welcome back to A
What's
Soccer
up,
Fan
what's
Walks
up?
Into a Bar. I have Diego and Naz beside me. If you don't know, my name is Dave. 100 Miles to Home, our segment of professional soccer here locally, New York, New Jersey, Connecticut, you know, northeastern Pennsylvania. You have it, we find it. Not a ton of action, obviously, right now with preseason, but NYCFC is at Coachella in the annual Coachella Invitational. They've played there the last few years. They had a 1-1 draw yesterday. That was at against LAFC. A 51st minute goal from Nico Fernandez, and late in the game, 88th minute, Denny Bowanga with a goal. Oddly enough, those were the only 2 shots.
That's what I was gonna say. 100% efficiency, bro.
The only 2 shots in the entire. Well, hold on. This is
No,
wrong.
that's wrong.
Never mind. I'm.
Yeah.
Now that I'm looking, this is just not updated whatsoever.
No way.
100% passing accuracy from both. It was like.
Dude, this was the hell of a match.
There's only
right
2
there.
passes.
Yeah, it's like someone
Passes, 2
started
shots.
collecting the stats and just gave up.
Just forgot.
So all right, we're gonna disregard all of that, but
It was a tie.
it was a tie. NYCFC is out in Coachella. As for Red Bull New York, they did trade away midfielder Wiki Carmona. In comes from Montreal defender Shaquille Marshall-Ruddy. Marshall-Ruddy, I do believe, has played with his national team. I want to see. I can't see one appearance for the Canadian national team.
No Canada.
So he was in the January window. So as things continue to change, I was just looking. I saw this stat somewhere with the recent transactions. I believe from the Red Bull team last year that made it to the MLS Cup final, there's only 3 players left.
No way.
And again, we all know, especially in American sports, where with salary cap and you have all these moving parts, 10 years do not last long. But for a team that was in the MLS Cup final in 2024, to only have 3 players from that squad left it's crazy. Absolutely incredible.
What the logistics are, you literally dismantle every single person. I mean, are these the backups? Did the backups?
No. 3 players from the squad.
Like the whole 20 people squad, 22 people squad.
20. I think it's 25. But yeah, either it doesn't matter. It could be 10 guys. You'll only have 3 left. It's like ridiculous. So yeah, that's a wild one for me. Elsewhere on the women's side, this will be released probably throughout the week, and we'll talk about it a good chunk on next Monday's show. But earlier today, I was able to sit down and talk with 2 players from Brooklyn FC's women's team. Catherine Zimmerman and Rebecca Cook, 2 forwards that are applying their trade here in the USL Super League. Awesome. Great talk with them. So we're going to be editing that and cutting it up. We'll take some parts for next week's 100 Miles to Home segment, and we'll be releasing some stuff on YouTube and Instagram and all that stuff. So it was a cool chat with them. Looking forward to doing more stuff with them. Their men's team will be starting their first year this season. Okay. So, U.S. national team alum Brian McBride is their, I don't know the official job title he has, but essentially general manager of both teams. So, I don't think they call him a technical director, but whatever the role, he's overseeing both of these rosters. Moving on, what's on tap? It is a huge week coming up. We have cup matches, we have league matches, all over the place. So starting off tomorrow, or if you're listening on Spotify and Apple Podcasts later today, because it'll be released Tuesday. So Tuesday afternoon, starting at 2:30 p.m. 8th place Everton hosting 11th place Bournemouth. This match, obviously the brewery is closed on Tuesday, so we will not be upstairs for the watch party. But I will be here. I believe Diego will be beside me. We will live stream our reactions and commentary to the match. That'll be on both YouTube and Twitch. At 3 p.m. in the Coppa Italia, Napoli and upstart Como. So Como has a chance to really make a long run, not only in the league, but as well as Coppa Italia.
Yeah, really well, huh?
And then, again, we just talked about it, the United Strand. Can Manchester United get their 5-match win streak at 18th place West Ham? That match is at 3:15 p.m. Also on Tuesday. Rolling into Wednesday, another action-packed day. We will have 2 matches for our watch party, 2 watch parties rather for our supporters club here in the tap room, both at 2:30. 2nd place Man City hosting 10th place Fulham, and 3rd place Villa hosting Brighton and Hove Albion in 14th. Also, some matches of note in the German Cup. Oh, you! I thought you were staring at me like, blink twice if you're in danger. Bayern Munich hosting RB Leipzig in the DFB Pokal, which is the German Cup. Then back to Coppa Italia, Bologna and Lazio, and then Copa del Rey, Athletic Bilbao against Real Sociedad. So a little bit of a local derby there in the cup. And then rolling into Thursday, Brentford hosting the Arsenal in a London derby. That will be a good test, obviously.
London derby.
I know.
There's so many London.
But they say that's why it's so hard for London teams to win the title. Is there are so many charged matches because of local proximity.
Oh, absolutely.
So it'll be interesting to see. This is a match we talked about it a couple of weeks ago when they had the late game where they knew the results of Man City and Aston Villa, and they, kind of, for lack of a better word, dropped the ball a little bit. Will they do that again here against an interesting Brentford side? They always give teams trouble. They're in 7th place. They're having a good year.
Yeah.
They're fighting for Europe. Will Arsenal be able to pull the 3 points from that? Then in Copa del Rey, also at 3 o'clock, Atletico against Barcelona. What do you guys think of that one?
Barcelona is having a little trouble right now. Atletico
just lost.
Actually,
Yeah.
They just lost to Real Betis 1-0
exactly. So
after beating them 5-0.
5, yeah.
Or 5.
So I can see a little resurgence from Atletico right now. They're getting some really, really good momentum going. And I mean, as you can see, and as we always talk about, points are the difference, but they still
Yeah.
get some competition.
And obviously, this is a cup match, so the points don't matter. We're just looking at the La Liga
but
table.
What we're talking about here is Madrid. Real and Barcelona are also in the same situation.
Yeah.
They're dropping points everywhere. And to be honest, they need to be worrying about the actual cup. The Copa del Rey for them is not really that interesting or appealing. So I think Barcelona doesn't put everybody on, and I think Atletico takes the win.
All right. Friday, our other supporters club, Hudson Valley Borussia, will be here hosting 14th place Mainz for Borussia Dortmund. And then just after that, just because it's an FA Cup weekend, we got lots of teams at different levels. But Wrexham will be hosting Ipswich. So, for those of you that are fans of Ryan Reynolds and Rob McElhenney and the whole Netflix show, that is another chance for you guys to see Wrexham on the big screen. Saturday, more FA Cup action. Obviously, we will have our show, The Pour Over, starting at about 8. And then Man City hosting Salford City. Some of the other matches, Aston Villa against Newcastle in a match that has 2 Premier League sides. Then Saturday afternoon, Derby d'Italia.
Yeah, that is a big game.
League leaders Inter Milan hosting Juventus, who happen to be in 4th. This is always one of the big kind of.
It's a tight table, though, isn't it? Like they're
Yes,
pretty close.
yeah. I mean, Juve has fallen off a bit, I believe, if I remember correctly. But if they're able to pull all 3 points here, what just happened? Serie A table. If they're able to pull all 3 points here, that would certainly make things interesting for 2nd through 4th. Inter are starting to run away with it a little bit, although Milan have a match in hand. So although they are 8 points back of city rivals Inter, if they're able to get all 3 points from that extra match, that would certainly make things interesting, especially with a Juve win at Inter. So, that one remains to be seen. Liverpool hosting Brighton and Hove Albion at 3 p.m. in the FA Cup. We will have that one here for you. And then Sunday, Nas is putting on a absolutely massive and so far seem to be very well attended pauper match, right? Do I have that right? Not a match, a tournament. Pauper? Popper?
No, pauper.
Pauper, yeah.
We don't know.
I thought, no, it's AU.
Yep.
I'm not the American here.
Oh my goodness.
Based on how well that morning goes, I can tell you is how good the game's going to be.
Yes.
If we have a rough start to that event.
And then, while that tournament is going on here in the tap room, Arsenal will be playing Wigan in the FA Cup.
I haven't heard Wigan in forever.
Wigan was
They were in for a while.
Wigan won the FA Cup and got relegated the same year. That was under Roberto Martinez.
Wow, that was like 6-7 years ago.
No, much longer than that, I think.
Let's check it out because that's a good little tidbit that I need to learn. I would love to learn that.
2013. So
okay.
13 years ago.
Defeated Manchester City 1.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Well, those are the fortunes of the English
Yeah,
Premier
yeah.
League.
I mean, that is, like we say, that is the majesty of the FA Cup. So that's going to do it for our week, or what's on tap, rather. I personally have nothing for what's one for the road. Do you guys have anything?
I have a Greek.
Diego, I don't know if you remember. Saturday
do.
morning, you
I
told me you
do.
had something.
Oh, I do.
Okay.
It's about WSL and Trinity Rodman. You know, that is Rodman's daughter, and the Professional Women's League. So she just got given the biggest
Yes.
contract ever.
And just
In the
it's
world,
the
you know.
NWSL, not the yes.
NWSL. I'm so
National
sorry.
Women's
Yes.
Soccer League, one of
My apologies,
two
ladies.
first division leagues here in the U.S.
Yep.
now on the women's side, including the USL Super League. But go on.
Well, but no, the interesting part is that, you know, her groundbreaking, record-breaking contract, it's due to a new little way of the American, you know, Women's League
Yep.
to try to keep their own players.
Yes.
It's, I think it's called the...
I don't recall what they're actually
hold on, I got
terming
the
this.
name here, the high impact player.
Yes.
You know, and so what they're doing is they are, because America always has, you know, salary caps and everything in all their leagues, they're allocating an extra space for high impact players.
Yeah.
And there is a lot of regulations. You know, you have to be an American, I think, first of all. It's not for foreign players. It's just, you know, players from here, I think.
Okay.
And then you have to accomplish several different types of marks and accolades and awards
Okay.
that you have to win.
So there's a criteria
And
for
there
it.
is a
Because
high
in
criteria.
my head, I didn't know that. In my head, I'm thinking it's,
Just
you know,
the best player.
Well, no. In layman term, it's like the female version of the Beckham rule in the MLS,
Oh, yeah,
kind of
yeah.
a thing. Like,
No. And it also, you have to have, you know, appearances in the U.S. national team.
Okay.
You have to have, you know.
so they want to make sure that the teams are, even though they're kind of taking the reins off and letting teams spend the money, they want to make sure it's kind of well invested and reflecting on the women's game in the U.S.
And exactly, and I mean, and you know, there is still the salary cap and everything, and it's just one player out of
Right.
everything that you could really afford. Because one thing I didn't realize, I mean, their salary cap is ridiculous compared to, you know, other
Yeah.
leagues in other places. It's only like what, $2.5–3 million.
Yeah, well, you should know.
Compared
So
to
the
Europe?
USL Super League, the other women's league,
Yeah.
has no salary cap.
Oh.
So there were rumors before this signing happened that Trinity Rodman, who plays for Washington Spirit,
Yeah.
was rumored to be going to DC Power, who is the
Which is a
USL team in Washington.
Oh, wow.
Because they don't have a salary cap.
Yeah, they can pay
so
whatever they want.
that would have been, I actually was talking with some of the Brooklyn players about that today, like the fireworks that would have resulted from
Oh,
that.
my God, yeah.
So, you know, get your popcorn ready.
So yeah,
kind of a
that's
thing.
what I was reading. That I think that's kind of like their way to
Yeah.
try to compete with this other no salary cap
Yep,
leagues.
that
and, you know, try to
not
keep
just the
their own
USL, but
players.
clubs in Europe and etc.
Absolutely.
All right.
And I mean, I think it's a really good idea maybe to think about with the MLS as well. I don't know how weird that will be like, but try to keep a couple of your players, homegrown players.
Yeah,
But that's the thing. We want to send them there.
I think
We
that's
want to.
not the right avenue for male American players, just
Yeah.
because you could argue on the women's side that the NWSL is the best league in the world.
Yeah.
I know the women's leagues in you know, Spain, France, and in England are certainly challenging them for that title.
Yeah.
But there's no comparison on the men's side. You know, the MLS, as much as it's improving, is not the Premier League. It's not the Bundesliga. It's not La Liga. It's not Serie A. It's not, you know, it's not even Ligue 1. You know, the leagues there, between the money, between the competition, between the you know, the putting yourself out on that pedestal and into the media, it's not close. So I think having that rule on the men's side for the MLS would be
It would be
a big
waste
mistake.
anyways. Yeah, no, you're
So,
totally right.
all right, Nas, what do you got?
Oh, I just have a Greek league up.
Yes, our Greek.
go,
We
yeah.
need like a special graphic. We're gonna work on that.
the Greek
the Greek League update.
Let's go.
So Olympiacos lost.
Yes.
Over the weekend.
Hey, good day.
I think PAOK either tied or lost as well. So they both dropped points. AEK won 4-0.
All right.
And now they go in with PAOK with a game in hand, but Olympiacos is currently, I think, 2 points above Olympiacos.
Oh yeah.
So you have
Yeah.
So
40.
if
You have-
PAOK loses their next game, they'll be AEK will stay, but then they have a game against PAOK. I think.
yeah. So you have After
Oh,
with
it's very
20
close,
matches
yeah,
played
yeah.
for AEK, you have 48 points. Olympiacos also on 20 matches played on 46, so 2 points back. And then PAOK with 19 matches played on 45.
Yeah, the issue is that we're playing at PAOK in Thessaloniki, and the saying goes is that PAOK does not lose at home.
Ah.
Oh, so
Yeah.
maybe we can do a watch party. How can we get that?
Yeah,
How can you get those things on TV?
Yeah, Panathinaikos did beat Olympiacos.
I
so they did us a
hate
favor.
to say it, but if to watch the Greek league in the U.S., you probably have to, as they say, sail the seven seas and do a little bit of piracy. I don't know that you can find it
Yeah,
readily
no,
available here in the States, unfortunately, because there is lots of drama and high intensity matches, similar to like the Turkish league also, and it's just a shame that it's not available.
Funny, but in Hyde Park, there is a huge Greek community.
Oh, there's
Wow,
plenty.
yeah.
Like the whole. I mean, if you
Yeah.
look back at
I mean,
the
locally
history
speaking,
of
what I
American
know.
soccer, like you go back to like, the old Cosmopolitan League in the city. Like it was founded, well, not founded by, but like, every nationality and their enclave
gathered
had
together.
clubs.
Yeah.
And the Greeks obviously were no different, especially in sections of Queens, and so it just. I played with a lot of Greek guys, in college, so I've whether I wanted to or not, learned a lot about the history of Greek American soccer.
There you go.
But yeah, so good for AEK. And again, regardless of your fandom, we always like to see nail-biting title races, and this certainly has the makings
coming,
of it
yeah.
with all three teams up there.
Again, this is still it's a race for the best placement going into the group.
That's right. They have a
Top
different
six
system.
will do a playoff where they
Yes.
play each team twice as a final. All it does is tack on to their already points.
Got it. Oh, okay. So
Yeah.
it's not a fresh start.
Correct.
It's,
So
okay.
they take the top six, whatever points they're at, and then they play each other twice again.
Okay. So if it were to end
Yeah.
today, obviously we know PAOK and Panathinaikos have played one less match, but if the season were to end today, Aris Thessalonica, who have 26 points, would also play in that
Correct.
separate league,
You are correct,
but
but they
be
would be
22
stuck all
points
the
behind
26
already.
points, correct.
Yeah. Okay. So thank you for making that not adjustment,
Yeah,
but
that's actually good to know.
Yeah.
I actually
changes
didn't-
things a little bit.
Yeah, I actually didn't know that until Ajax winning season 2 years ago because
Yeah.
I looked at my dad and AAK was in first going into that, and I'm like, "Hey, we won the league," and he's like, "No, we still have
12 matches to
yeah,
go.
we still have 10 matches."
So,
Yeah.
so theoretically, obviously, it's not going to happen this year, but theoretically, you could get into that playoff system or whatever. I don't know what they call it,
And
but
win out.
and have already won the league.
Correct. You could, yes.
If you if you ran away, I doubt that's ever happened, but
from the next.
or
Well, I
theoretically,
think there's only 12 teams total.
Yeah.
Because the bottom half
Also
have-
do that, yes.
They have a playoff to see who gets relegated.
yeah,
you did say that, yeah.
I don't know if it's apples to apples with what other countries do, but they call that the Swiss system. But so theoretically, also by that same token, like
My favorite
Aris right now could make the playoff and have no chance of actually winning the league.
My favorite thing about this is that every single time I have ever checked the standings for years,
Yeah.
Google has never updated the other. There's 6 teams that they have the logos for.
Yeah.
The other 6 they don't.
Yeah.
Oh, no way.
Yeah. So
I just saw
Tripoli's
that.
at the bottom. They have the logo for. Panathinaikos, PAOK, Olympiacos, and Athens. So they only have 5 total
then,
logos.
yeah,
Everybody
Pan-
else.
What's funny is
With their-
like Iris Thessalonica, I believe, has played in Europe. Like
Yeah.
you would think that's one. AEL is that Lenarca?
But if you
right?
click on them, I think
Yeah.
they still have the
Yeah.
thing by
Oh,
Wikipedia.
Larissa, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, you know what? Maybe you and your dad can take it upon yourselves and talk with the
No.
Google people
They got AK. That's
and get raise more awareness for the Greek Super League. But on any note, we are well over our normal 1 hour here.
Oh, no way.
About 10 minutes.
Okay,
Thank
that's
you
good.
to
Was the,
Diego and Naz. Thank you for braving the cold again with us. We are
it's good.
a couple more weeks, and I think maybe we'll be back above freezing.
We said
But
6 more, so we got 4
uh,
left.
I F that groundhog,
I
man.
believe in him. You do not say a bad word about. what is it? Mahogany?
Aliens come to
Mahogany?
Earth.
Mahogany? Is that what you just called him? Punxsutawney Phil.
Punxsutawney
That guy.
Jesus.
You know what you say about
Have you
what
seen
about
the
Phil?
meme? Have you seen the
No,
meme?
no.
Aliens come to Earth. They look at us.
Oh, yeah.
So you're telling me the groundhog is, and then the other person goes clairvoyant. Yes.
So on that note, guys, thank you for watching. Thank you for listening. Red, Black, Danny, thank you for hopping in to chat with
Yeah,
us
love
as
you
well.
guys.
Make sure you give us a like, a follow, subscribe, and by all means, please, please, please share the podcast on any and all platforms.
Yep.
That is
Número
Twitch,
uno, share.
YouTube, Spotify, Apple Podcasts. That might be it. Get us on Instagram, Facebook, www.cdunewburgh.com. I am talking with our clothing manufacturer, who I'm actually wearing their hoodie right now. We're finalizing a couple last-minute edits on just the text of the online store.
I need my shirt.
And we will be releasing that with notifications on all our social media. So it is time almost to get your CDU Newburgh jersey or your CDU Newburgh shirt or your CDU Newburgh, we're calling it a trucker hat, but yeah, basic like
It's a
baseball
trucker
cap.
hat.
Yeah.
I love it. Let's put it on the map,
So
as
looking
they
forward to
say,
all
man.
that. Stay tuned also for clips and release in its entirety on YouTube. My interviews with Brooklyn FC's players, Catherine Zimmerman and Rebecca Cook. Catherine has an incredible career, both behind her and in front of her still, but she's won several titles in Australia.
Nice.
Rebecca Cook is a younger Irish player who played here in college, went back to Ireland, is now back here again playing. Both very cool players, good to be around, and a great chat. So thanks again, guys, and we will see you tomorrow, or at least Diego and I will. Maybe Naz will be in chat. We'll see you tomorrow here for the Bournemouth match. I've already forgotten who they're playing. At 2:30 against
matter.
Everton.
Doesn't matter. They're gonna win.
Yeah, they better. So thank you guys. We appreciate it.
Peace out,
We'll
mi
see you
gente.
tomorrow.